1, 2, 3, audio test.
Hi, this is CBRadioMagazine.com, and today I want to show you guys kind of a rarer radio. It's the President Richard. No, not that President Richard. I want to show you this President Richard. This is the President Richard export radio. This is an AM/FM single sideband export radio with extra frequencies in it from the factory, and kind of a unique one. We don't see a ton of these in the States. You might be more familiar with some of its clone cousins, the Cobra 148 GTL DX or the Superstar 360 FM single sideband models. Both of those were very similar layouts and everything, like they do with most export radios. They'll put it under a couple different brands and names. This one in particular has a Uniden PB010 board in it, made in the Philippines radio. It has 3 banks of frequencies on it. The frequencies go from 26.515 up to 27.855. And I'll just walk you through real quick on the controls. Over here you got on, off, and volume, squelch on the outside, microphone gain on the inside, RF gain on the outside. SWR calibration control here for controlling your switch here, so you have your calibration position. You can set it using this knob, then you can switch to SWR to check your SWR. SRF position for standard transmit and receive on your meter. Here's your banks of frequencies. Your group A is going to be 26.515 up to 26.955. Group B is going to be 26.965 to 27.405. Group C is going to be 27.415 to 27.855. So if you like to talk on the international calling frequency, you'd switch to C and then jump up to channel 12 here. It has lower sideband, upper sideband, AM, FM. It does have an SQ here, which most radios that would be a CW position. Over here you've got fine and coarse, and this does seem to change the frequency for both transmit and receive on this, so it looks like you can actually change your frequency using the fine and coarse, and many people refer to that as being unlocked. So clarifier unlocked on this. Channel selector, channel display, noise blank A&L switch here, tone control switch, low and high. This actually works really well on this radio. If you're trying to pull out a real quiet single sideband station, putting it into high sometimes helps you get those high-pitched voices out a little bit better. If you're listening to AM and don't want the static, you can drop it down into low, and it seems to work pretty well. Channel 19 switch here, and TXR light turns red on transmit. I don't have the original microphone with this radio. I just have a Uniden microphone that came with it, so I can't show you that. It is a single final radio, so it's not going to do a ton of output, just pretty much like any other standard CB, pretty much your 4 watts and 12 watts swing kind of thing. You might get about 15 out of it on sideband with a little bit of tuning inside. I will say it sounds very good on the air so far from what I've listened to on sideband and AM. I'll flip it around and show you the back. Alright, here's the back of the radio. It has the SQ key location here, which usually says CW key. It's got your external speaker jack here, power, standard 3-pin power connector, antenna jack here, and over here it has your President Richard certificate, made in the Philippines, and your serial number. There is a screw out here because I did take the case off, so I can show you guys some stuff inside. The President Richard has an always-on Roger beep, which for many people could be kind of annoying. So you can either disable it by cutting a wire, or you could wire in a switch so you can turn it on or off. I'm going to play it so you can hear what it sounds like. It's not, you know, super long, but it is kind of a high-piercing one, and a lot of guys on sideband aren't going to like that. But anyway, I will show you how to disable that. I'll show you where the little wire is that you cut. We're looking at the inside of the radio now, and this is where the microphone connector comes in. This is the outside of the radio over here. This is the inside. There's the little board on the back side. And what we're looking for to disable the Roger beep is an orange wire. And that orange wire is right here. It's a small orange wire just up at the front corner here. And if you look down on the board, it's actually labeled PEEP. P-E-E-P. So that is your Roger beep. And what we'll do is we'll very carefully get in here, just find that wire, and Roger beep is disabled. For those of you that like to make adjustments inside your radio, it's pretty easy with this one. Everything's labeled on the board, which is nice. Your single sideband ALC is over here, VR12. VR14 is your AMC, modulation control. And VR13 over here is your AM dead key adjustment. This is a side microphone radio with a 6-pin President plug layout, and takes up standard export space in terms of a standard CB radio. It doesn't have a heatsink on the back, so you don't have to worry about that. So it's standard size CB radio. Overall, yeah, I like it. Good receive on it, good sound quality. On the transmit audio, sounds pretty good on the air. And the only thing I could say is, you know, it took a little while to warm up when you turn it on inside here. So, you know, a couple of minutes for it to warm up. I did notice I was a little bit having to adjust a little bit off frequency initially, and then as it warmed up, I'd bring it on to center. I did an alignment on the radio, and once it's warmed up, everything's on spot on, no issues at all. So if you're using this in a vehicle in the middle of winter and low temperatures, you might have to wait a little bit longer for it to warm up compared to some of the newer radios like the Anytone Quad 6 or the Lincoln 2 or the President McKinley. Those radios seem to be really on frequency all the time for the most part. So just one of the things with older radios, you guys are used to it. Yeah, that's all I got to say about this one. Thanks for watching. CBRadioMagazine.com. So the tone control definitely can bring up the voices when you are listening to voices on sideband. The high position really brings it up.